Okay, so let us start. I want to thank you all for coming in. Oh, what happened to Virgil again? What happened to Virgil again? Can you hear me? This is so weird. Oh my God, you're back.
I, but yeah, anyway, I
This is
mean,
crazy.
it's crazy, right? But okay, I think the ones who stick to it are the ones who gonna win, and we always win. Yes, here we are.
Yes, yes. Okay, so to make all of you your time worth it, I promise you when I post this on demand recording, I will add in a free gift for all of you. All right, I will get in a free gift for all of you. Right,
And me
something
too.
that's
I
yeah.
I give one something too for this. I
All
send
right,
it to
so
you.
let's put it together. All right, so before that, thank you for coming. This is part of the first digital dollar project that I've been running since January this year. I took a little break and then I decided to I decided to persevere and continue with this series. But I'm not going to do it every week. I'm going to probably do it once a month, right, to keep my sanity. Right. So today I have here with me Virgil, but before that, before I invite him to talk a bit about himself, I want to tell you guys this little secret. I know Virgil since a year ago, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know me, right? Because I got to know him because back then I was crazy about ClickFunnels. Right, so I was attending all the lessons from Russell Brunson. I get a account. I flew over to US to for one of his conference and I get to know all the two combat club people. So you see behind Virgil, you see this very big flag, right? So that's how I got to know Virgil. So I follow him, and the interesting thing is, a couple of weeks ago, Virgil joined Substack, right? So I was like, oh, Virgil. Then I welcome him, and he DM me, and then we chit chatted, and then fast forward, we are here today here at this amazing Substack live, and one that has so many problems, technical problems in the beginning, but we persevere on. We are not going to stop, and we're going to continue and give you the best information. My job is to dig as much juice out of Virgil today, to give you all that, to let you know all that it takes to earn his first digital dollar online. So again, I want to emphasize it, like all my life, first digital dollar is not cryptocurrency. It is really getting earning our first dollar through online means, right? So it can be the digital products, can be services, whatever. Okay, uh, please, Virgil, introduce yourself.
Wow, thank you. The ClickFunnels community. Yeah, that is. I see Susan is saying Russell Bunce is in Boise, Idaho, and I know Boise because of the ClickFunnels community, right? Because yeah, no, Boise is this little place, and I never heard of it before until I joined the ClickFunnels community back in 2000. What was it? 2018, 2019, I think, and it's like a long time ago. And yeah, who am I? I'm Virgil. I am a Dutchie. I live in Bali. In my daily life, I work with coaches and creators, help them blow up their launches, scale their marketing, make their bank accounts sing, as I say. That's what I do. And yeah, I joined Substack like 3 weeks ago because all my friends were on it, and I was never a big fan of it because I never considered myself as a writer. So I am in a way, but I don't see myself like that. So I always thought something that for writers, sophisticated newsletter platform. If I come there and talk my shit, quote unquote, who will listen? That makes no sense in that world, right? But all my friends said, Virgil, go to Substack, go to Substack, go. And I okay, I go. So here I am. 2 weeks ago, I joined, and my mind was blown by it because I've seen it all, right? You've seen it too. I've already the Twitter coming up. I started with MySpace. I'm 52 now, so I'm old, right?
Yep.
So MySpace, we had Facebook coming up. All these platforms are coming up. Instagram came. TikTok was never my thing, but all these platforms came up and they all had the same curve, right? People jumped on board. There was this trend. Everybody was flying, and all of a sudden it got destroyed by all kinds of things where people started selling, doing. And then I found X and,
Yep.
and, and Twitter in 2023, and I loved that before. And so I went there and communicating, and then it got destroyed as well, right? By what it is now. So Substack is such a breeze of fresh air where people really connect and help each other. It's an environment where people can thrive, where people who just start out get the opportunity to grow. It's not in a hierarchy of likes or look at the big accounts. Everybody can make it on this platform if you just be yourself and say hi, I think. So that's in a
Yep.
nutshell me. And I'm happy to be here. Amazing that you are a ClickFunnels guy. So we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So I also I was like I yes, I'm also coming 50 myself. So I was in
Yes.
the MySpace as well. Uh, when I first started as a solopreneur, I was spending 90% of my time in Facebook groups because I was trying to sell. So we joined all the Facebook. I started off selling Notion templates. So I was like I joined 20 over, 30 over Facebook group and then just posting nonstop. And then that's how I made my first digital dollar online. And that's how I earned my subsequently 5K a month, 10K a month, right? But yeah, that's about me. Y'all can read about my story in Solopreneur Code. Today is all about Virgil, right? There's a couple of questions like for those of you who have joined me so many times, you know that my first question is always, come on, Virgil, tell us your journey, right? Not when you're already earning seven figures, but when you started with zero and how you earn your first dollar. Your first dollar is really high. It was 129 through
Yes.
coaching, right? So tell us a little bit about it and the journey, especially about your thought process, because the most difficult part is when you are still earning nothing. It is easy to say that it's easy to tell people to persevere when you're already earning 10K a month, right? But when you are earning $0, it's so difficult to tell yourself that I must persevere. Persevere until when? When do I actually give up? And what helped you to persevere? Tell us a little bit about it. It will be fun.
That is good. It's really really good, cool how you put it, right? If you have zero, you look up. Or I don't want to say zero because most people have something, right? They
Yep,
do so
yep.
they have a job or they have sold something, but not in their top in their mindset like successful, right? In their book. Well, my thought process, I was working in television way back and I was a cameraman, funny enough. And I loved that because I was traveling the world with a Dutch crew and we did live concert all over the world. That's how I started. It was a 9 to 5 for me. And I had the same like you, right? I was always in front of this glass, right? So I was living with the famous and the rich rock stars and I was part of that world, but also sort of excluded from like a glass wall. So I could
Okay.
see it. I could see all these guys party and having cars and having this and that. But I was the camera guy, right? And so I didn't have it. So the desire was always there to do it myself. And so then I started freelancing, and that taught me the first steps on how to sell me. But that is not online, right?
Yep.
Freelancing is more trading, service, and a lot of people probably do that here. And but your first dollar online is a whole different thing. So I moved to Ibiza from Holland because I was done with cold Holland, and then I moved to Ibiza, Spain at the time, and I started a boutique personal training business. That was my idea, right at the time. So at first I thought, I was not a trainer myself at the time, so I thought I'm going to be clever. I'm going to hire people and let them do the work, and then move on. But the problem was I couldn't find the trainers, and there I was in Ibiza, Spain. And so I took a course and started training myself. And that's how I became a personal trainer like 10 years ago. And but the feeling is when you're trading time for money, it is cool at first, right? I was living this cool lifestyle, blue seas, beautiful island. I was again working with celebrities of some reason, but still I was needing to go do 7 training sessions and get money from that. So it was felt a little bit, you know that feeling, right? That you're training time for money. So I thought I saw this course, this thing online, and I bought it. It was about productivity and planning, and until this day I use that system still. And I bought that course and it was very expensive. It was $2,500. And
my
the
God.
guy was really known and his name was Todd Herman. He was like this mental coach for Kobe Bryant. God bless his soul. He was really like this guy who taught in productivity instructors. And the course was $2,500. But there was also a community attached to it. And the community was really big. And so I entered that and then my eyes opened and I hang on a minute. I paid $2,500 and all these hundreds of people paid
Yep.
$2,500 as well. Hey, what am I doing? I'm doing push-ups on the beach and trying to do cool and everything. And this guy and he was never there. He once a week he came and he said, hi, this is what we do. Follow the
I
course and bye. Now, I don't say he didn't put in the hard work because he delivered the value, right? It's not that he was scamming. He delivered the value what was worth for 2,500 from me, and I learned a ton of it. And as also today, even in my road to 7 figures, I use his method. So it's very valuable. So that changed my mind. So I thought, you know what, Virgil's gonna sell online personal training. So I had a blog at the time, and I was writing a blog. And then I read some books, and I said, okay, I need to tell a story. I need to make an offer, and I did. And I went on my day, and the next day I woke up and I saw this message, right? Like a payment message. And at first now as a marketers know what it is, right? A strike notification. And we're really happy that we see it every year. Bling, strike notification, or pay me go dancing. Yeah, everybody knows. But at the time I didn't know what it was. So I thought, well, this is like spam. So delete. I didn't know what it was. Now later I found out what my first dollar, and that was basically $129, and was big for me, right? And it was like pay me online is like this weird world. And that's how my whole journey started where we are today from that moment.
Yeah. For those of you who has seen me talk this over and over again, I always say this: when you when you earn your first digital dollar, your mind click, and then you tell yourself that it is possible to earn something. And then when you thought that you can earn $1, you can earn $100, and when you can
Yes.
earn $100, you can earn $1,000. Right.
Yes.
So when your mind click, then you start to think, how can I scale this up? And then how so but our mind shifted from should I give up to, oh, this is possible. I think that's one of the most powerful the mindset change that anyone can have as a online creator or whatever you call it, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, you're right there.
Oh, Virgil, I want to ask you something. The next question is that in your post, for those of you who have not read his post, I encourage you after this live, go ahead and check out his post, and then for those of you subscribe to myself and Virgil, you can also check out our other posts in our accounts. But that in your post you written that the secret to business success is to sell different layers of access to yourself. Uh, Please elaborate on this. I really like this.
Yes. Well, that was a thing, right? The funny part is that this advice was before the ClickFunnels community. The ClickFunnels community came later, and maybe we touched a little bit upon it. But if you read my post, I had this client who paid the first $129 to me, was this big Dutch entrepreneur, and he runs like the Dutch Amazon variant of Holland and Belgium and Germany now. So the guy is huge, and I didn't know at the time. And I went to his house, it was amazing, and then I walked in this amazing villa, and then he said, yeah, this house used to be from Massive Attack. I'm like, well, Massive Attack? That I used to rape on Massive Attack. I was like this child, right? Going like, oh, how cool, how cool. And but the great thing with the training sessions with him was that he always shared like some business knowledge, or he was talking about my business. It's Virgil, you're not doing it right. You can't. This is not sustainable. If you keep training people, I love what you do. And he said during a set of kettlebell swings, and if you know training a little bit, kettlebell swings are horrific. And then he said this. He dropped down his kettlebell and he was sweating. He was breathing heavy, and then he said, "Virgil, what you should do, you should charge different price points and give different layers of access to yourself." And at the time, when I was told about it, like, what? What does what does it even mean? Right? So what it means in a nutshell is that a lot of, let's say I work with coaches, you work with creative entrepreneurs. Let's say you have one service. Now, let's say for the sake of ease, a coach, because that is close to me as an example, but can be anything. You are a coach and you are offering one-on-one services. Well, that is a layer of access to you. But because that is your first product, you probably price that layer of access very low because you don't have a perceived value yet, because that's the perceived value that you gave to yourself, right? Mine just, okay, I'm worth this. You're worth way more than you think, but at the moment you think, oh, my price is $30 per session or $100 per session. Well, it could be $1,000 per session, but you don't know. But what you do then is that you take the same knowledge and you package it in different ways. One thing could be, I'm going to start to make a course or a cheat sheet or a system out of it from the same method that you do in one-on-one. And why is that so powerful? Because not everybody for your one-on-one is ready for your offer yet. So they might say no. Now, in my world, but somebody said no to my personal training, I was like, okay, sorry, okay, next one. And that didn't work. But when I added this layer of digital training or a little, I could say, oh, it's not good for you, but I have this, try it out. So you create a layer one. So in my world now, after doing this for years now, there are a couple of layers that you can always implement on everything. So layer number one is like a do-it-yourself digital thing. Layer number two is a done with you. That's a hybrid of your coaching. Now, here's where I experimented a lot is that when you have your main coaching program or your main offer, and this can be for a digital product as well, you can make coaching offer on top of it, is from that, you do what I call a small group offer. And what it is basically, it's not do it yourself. And it's not your main big thing, but it is in between where more people do the same. So what happens is that the efficiency for your time that you deliver to that group will be more efficient and you will earn more per hour. Because if you charge, let's say, $500 per hour for a session, and you have 10 people who pay $250 for that same hour, you're more efficient. And that is what he taught me. So he taught me basically the concept of leverage. And the leverage is the key word. When you want to scale, if you don't apply leverage to your business, to your thinking, to everything what you do, you're always going to hit that what we call the glass ceiling, right? You're not going to break through it because you can do only so much in it. But that is that part of access to yourself or to a product.
Yeah.
And be
Yep. Thank you, Virgil. I always feel that I mean, for me, I'm a solopreneur. I don't mind me. I used to work 9 to 5 as well. You can read my story in my publications. Um, uh, but I truly believe that as a single person, or with very lean, all of us have only 24 hours, right? So it is very important for us to strategically plan our offers. You don't want to sell all your 24 hours to someone. You just want to find a way to, like what Virgil say, you need to find a way to leverage your time. We all have 24 hours, but how is there a way for us to exponentially increase our 24 hours virtually, right? Because in the virtual space, it is made possible. Right. I want to bring back a little bit back to the moment before your 129, because that was the moment I'm always very keen about. Is there from the time you launch your offer to the time your this big client paid you 129, what was can you remember what was the duration
The duration between the time that I
when you
put out the
launch?
offer
Yeah, and then you got it.
and the money.
Yeah,
You mean that?
yes.
So in my world, back then it took a while.
Okay,
I believe that I posted an article and some Facebook posts and I had no traction, and then I repeated the same thing in different formats until something hits. And but I always was somebody with data, but in my personal training days, I was
uh,
not a little bit a scientific trainer, so I analyzed things that work for people but not, and then I made it better. So I took that into my marketing world as well. So I looked
okay,
at my article, and then I realized nobody wanted. So then I hold it back to reading books. And
okay.
one of the first books I ever read in my life on marketing um, was by Dan Kennedy, and it is the
Yep.
ultimate marketing plan. And Dan Kennedy is the OG now. Russell Brunson, for example,
Yeah.
bought the whole catalog of Dan Kennedy. At the time, I wasn't involved in the ClickFunnels community whatsoever. So it was the first book I ever read. And what he always says is, you always never tell, but always show. So
Okay,
always show, not only tell. So that was in my mind. So then I thought, okay, I had my article, Come and Join Virgil, which is school training program, but that was only telling that it was cool. So what I started doing then was starting adding more story to it and images and make them feel how it would be to be with me on the beach or in Ibiza, right? And that
okay,
make the change. So that is the thing. So to answer your question, when you put something out, uh, always your super fans will buy, so to speak. And when you launch something, always you see a little spike, and only the people who love you, support you, or know you will buy, and then it falls flat. And that is basically, especially in the beginning, when you don't have a following and people don't know what you're doing, then lead with demonstrating, like show it to them why it is so cool to get what you offer. Does it
mhm.
answer your question?
Yeah. So I want to also add on to what Virgil has shared, which is very important information, is that a lot of you guys out there, especially when you do your first offer, um there will be a lot of times you feel like giving up, or oh, is this going to work? I'm going to change my offer. What I want you to remember, uh, at least for this life, is that you have one offer, and believe it or not, there will always be someone in this world who is willing to pay for that offer. Your problem is you need to find that person, all right? And how you can find that person is you can do it through several ways, but the one of the best way that we are able to control it as a creator is we create different versions of how we pitch the offer, right? So do not stuck with one way to pitch the offer. Instead, you need to think of very different. uh, I can remember when I first launched my second or third digital products. I created almost 30 ways to sell that particular product. It's the same product, but I created 30 ways to sell it. Essentially, I'm trying to change the way I pitch it, and change my target audience as well, right? So that I can, because in the online space you only have like less than 10 seconds to get somebody's attention, right? So it's very important that your hook is correct, the way you describe the problem is correct, the way you connect with the person is correct. I'm saying this because if you are not someone with 1 million followers, please use this method. But if you are someone with 1 million followers, you don't have to bother. You launch anything, people will buy, right? But when you don't have that level of influence online, what you want to do is you want to create multiple ways to pitch the same product, and then focus on that offer. Don't worry about changing offer. Trust that your offer works, and just persevere. But
Stick to it. Yeah, we got a good lesson today, right? On perseverance. Yes, you're 100% right. I've learned, especially also Russell Brunson in the ClickFunnels community, that nobody is going to sell for you. And I know that a lot of people will hope that, or there is, and at the time when I started out, I also believed there's this magic bullet, right? If I do this one thing, everything will magically change. And it isn't. It doesn't exist. The only way how you will make it out there is by putting yourself out there, not like a sleazy sales guy say, "Hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff." No, build genuine relationships with people. Listen to what they have to say. They will tell you what they want from you because. And the mistake that I made in the beginning, especially, is that I took other people's campaigns and I run it as mine. Right, this is a logical thing to think. Right, you see this person, they think, "Wow, this is going well." I take this and then I run it, and then I have the same result. And it doesn't 99% of the times. And why is that? That is because each audience is unique. Now, we have three big audiences, right? Three big categories we worked in: health, wealth, and relationships. So everybody fishes in the same pool, so to speak. So the audiences are sort of quote unquote the same. The only big difference is that each creator, coach, expert out there has a different relationship with their audience. Look at Anthony, look at you, for example. You have this relationship where people come and join. This Dutch guy messes things up and they still show up. You have this relationship with them in a very unique way. So that means that you always need to honor what this unique audience, this unique relationship is giving you, because they will tell you, Virgil, please, can you do less talking and do more writing? Or they would say, hey, could you start a podcast? Ah, but I don't like podcasts. Yeah, but we do, so this sort of things is really that you always keep an open mind to your audience and how that connects. And Seth Godin, a very famous marketer, always says this: when everybody in the circle looks inwards, you look outwards. Don't follow the crowd. Do things that are absolutely go against what everybody else is doing. One, you're going to stand out. And two, nobody can copy you.
Yep.
And that is how you always will win.
Yep. I can give you guys some immediate examples of this. Is that um I also remember Alex Comosi in his $100 million offer book. He mentioned that do not place your offers in a position whereby you have all your competitors are the same, right? You have to position your offer in a way that your customers, your potential customers has nothing to compare with. Then that's where you can actually stand out, right? When we say that, it's actually very interesting because you don't really change the core product. You just change the way you pitch, change the way you describe your product, right? And end of the day, probably the product is 80% the same, right? But it's the way you help your potential customers understand what you're trying to sell, and that is very important, right? Just some Virgil mentioned a little bit about selling. And that brings me to the next question, which is Virgil also mentioned sell before you make, right?
Oh, now I don't hear you. Now we don't. You should open your plug. Yes. It's difficult.
Right,
Yes,
can
you're
you hear?
back.
Oh my
You see?
God.
Perseverance. We stick into
Yes,
this,
let's
brother.
go.
We stick into it.
There's no way we are going to close this.
We quit. No, no way.
All right.
Doesn't exist.
So Virgil mentioned sell before you make. I fully agree with this. You want to describe how you explain this, Virgil?
Well, everybody should read Russell Brunson's books. It's called .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. And those books is what started my ClickFunnels journey and started me wanting to go to seven figures, because seven figures was always for me in my mind like, I'm never going to make it anyway, so why bother, right? That was what I thought, right? It's impossible. And in a book, he describes a lot of things are really cool, but one part of it always stuck with me. and I always refer to with everybody I meet. That's one, find a hot market. Well, if you are in health, wealth, or relationships, you're good. Find a hot market. Ask them what they want and give it to them. That's marketing one on one. That's how you going to be successful. So how does that translate in the sell before you make concept? Because the trap that we fall in as creators, experts, and coaches is that we think that we know what our audience wants. And we are always wrong. I'm going to tell you now. Your mind is lying to yourself. And to go to the um, subject, you need to understand psychology as well. Because your mind is wired to run away from pain towards pleasure. Why that is, there are books written about it. There are people way smarter than me that can explain why it is. But take it from me, that is what's happening. So why do most people go out there, build something, and spend months on it, on that product, and then bring it to market? Because it is painful to present it to a market, and it is pleasurable to create. So that is the first part. Now, when you flip this whole thing around, sell before you make, you need to do the painful thing first. And your mind starts then to scream, no, Virgil's not going to work. Nobody's going to buy it. No, you're going to fail. It's not going to work. 100% not. You are going to fail, fail, fail. That's what your mind is saying. Now, what you're doing, and that's what I learned in the $2,500 course from that I bought with my first dollar. Fear cannot hit a moving target. That was the thing that I heard back then. And what does it mean? Your mind can only do one thing at a time. When it is afraid, it is consumed in fear. But when it takes action, it cannot be afraid at the same time. It needs to calibrate, right? So that's how you trick the mind. So by doing sell before you make, you're taking action by asking people, like, hey, what is it that you want? Ask the market. And then you're going to give it to them in certain different formats, which will be a topic how you create this offer in a whole different conversation by itself. But once you give it to them, your mind is going to realize, hang on a minute, this is not so scary. And guess what the mind does then? You might think that the mind would say, okay, Virgil, now you got it. You're amazing. You're going to reach it. You're the best in the world. You got this. No, the mind is going to come up with another issue that doesn't exist. So that is how it works, right? So sell before you make is nothing more is by asking your market what you want, validate it by saying, hey guys, very simple. Hey guys, I'm thinking about launching XYZ. Is it something you might like? And people will come to you and they will tell you what the problem exactly is, what the product should be, how you should, what price they want to pay for it. They're going to tell you everything. So this concept, I live by it and it's amazing.
Yep. I think I've typed the secret 3-step inside the chat already. So guys, please consume everything in the chat. A lot of things are being placed there. So I let me iterate. Find the hot market, ask what they want, and give it to them. This is very, very important. And I feel that I agree with you. A lot of new creators out there, they tend to skew towards creating what they want, but it's not what your customer wants, and that's a very dangerous thing. I
And yes, costly.
Having said that, I mean, for those of you who follow me, you know that I talk about how many digital products I created in my first year. I launched one digital product a week when in my first year of solopreneur. And till date, I have like close to 80 over 90 over digital products. And I can tell you, not all of them work, right? But the other secret is do not dwell too much on making it perfect, right? Focus on getting it out, right? Because uh, done is better than perfect. That is very, very important as well. On top of the sell before you make. All these are wise words from Virgil and Anthony. So this,
And the big marketers of this
yes,
century. Yes.
yes. Yes, let's move on to ClickFunnels. I want to talk about a little bit about
ClickFunnels,
ClickFunnels.
yes.
Yeah, so I actually okay, I don't have that plug behind Virgil to Common
You
Club.
will get you will get there.
I
You will get there.
oh no, I wasn't. I feel that it's not something that's for me, but I learned a lot. I use the concepts for my own digital products. Um And I feel that so I got into ClickFunnels because I was very interested to learn about value ladders, things like that. And then I went into the rabbit hole about about 1 or 2 years ago. And like I said in the beginning of this live, I get to know Virgil a year ago, and then I follow him, and then he came to Substack, and then I was like, oh, he's here. I'm a
You
fanboy.
did, yeah. I'm a fan of
Right?
yours. I was looking. The funny thing is, I was looking at your account, and I said, I sent you a message. Hey, let's do a dashboard.
Yeah.
I was quite nervous, right? Because there is this big Substack account. Well, he's probably gonna ignore me. A lot of people ignore me, but that's part of the game, right? In
Yeah,
Substack
yeah.
when you're new. So it was the other way around. I ignore you because you're the man here, and I need to learn from you.
No, no, we are all equal. We are all equal. We
Hundred
have
percent.
different opportunities, different markets, different clients. Right. So, Virgil, tell us a little bit about your ClickFunnels journey. When did you join ClickFunnels?
Yeah, so like I said before, it started with the book, right? And I had
Oh,
two
yeah.
business
Let
partners.
us go back to how did you shift from being a personal trainer to ClickFunnels, or maybe
Yes.
anywhere in between. There's this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't just, I know what I want, I just go. There's nobody
No,
does
no,
that.
that is not how it happened. No, no, no,
Yeah.
that's not how it
Yes.
happened. So,
Let's talk about this.
so the transition from the personal training business, which still exists until today, I'm not involved anymore, but it still exists. Called the Worker Club Ibiza. Go look it up. And at the time, a lot of people, I was putting a lot of content out about training on beaches and things like that. So people started reaching out to me, hey, how do you live this cool lifestyle? And they didn't know that I was struggling and almost dying. But I thought, hey, I get attention, let's go with it. So I was slowly starting consulting people how to make a transition at first, right? From where you are to another country. That's how it all started. And I used the experience that I had from teaching clients that made me a better coach, like teaching people stuff. So people starting to get that from me. And then I remember one day I saw this guy on Facebook and he was huge. He had a huge Facebook group, a Dutch guy. And I thought I need to be part of this. Same as Substack now. I came in and I started chatting, we communicated. And he flew over to Ibiza at the time for a holiday and we got a whiskey. I don't know why whiskey, but that was he like. So we sat down and then we were talking and we connected so well. And he said, you know what, we need to do something together. So we started to do some challenges and building offers. And that's how it started. And before we knew it, we found a third business partner who was a young guy who eventually became the soul of the whole business that we built in the e-commerce space at the time. Because in 2017, 2018, it was not AI the big thing, but when we just grew, it was e-commerce and drop shipping and
Dropshipping.
Amazon businesses.
Dropshipping
That
is a
was the
big
thing, right?
thing then.
Yeah, and that's where we were in. That was our niche. That was our product. And we were stuck because we could sell it and we were reading all the books and everything, but we are Dutch and we were always a little bit like, how you call it, uh, not greedy, but we are very tough. So we don't spend easy money, right? And uh, reading the books, we started to hire mentors at the time. So we were part of the ClickFunnels community, but we hired external mentors as well to help
Ah,
us breaking through certain um, rules and marketing concepts. And the concept of a funnel by Russell Brunson's book brought us to all the events where we met more people and where we started communicating. And then we started implementing what we learned. So this is what our mentor said to us. We did, So they say, focus on one offer for one audience and offer one solution. That's what we did. We had one course. We did 7 figures with one course, but repackaged in multiple layers. So we have one offer. We didn't have anything else. So it was our own thing. So that started to work. And then all of a sudden I remember Alex Hormozy was the very first who had the 2 Comma Club X Award.
yeah.
The thing you see here, like
Yes.
the silver thing. And me and my business partner were sitting there in the audience, all like, fuck, we need this is if we can, this is like an ultimate thing. We need to try to go for this. So for years I had Alex Hormozy's ClickFunnels Award, on my phone. So every morning I saw it and I replied. I said, I need, and we hired more coaches, and the success came by investing in coaches. That was really a game changer because we believed at the time that we could find it on YouTube, we can read books, but it's not the same as being part of a mastermind where you're going to meet people who are way further ahead than you. You're going to be in the rooms where people are doing hundreds of millions a year. And that is a total different environment where you're moving. And what it does with your mind, it shows you that things are possible. So if you are listening to this right now here and you think, okay, how can I do that? In the Substack community, there are a lot of people like Afrani himself here, like me, like other great people who did something in their field, who in Substack more than happy to connect with these people because then you can pull yourself up. So then eventually we got the first to come up award. We reached our first 7 figures, and it was amazing. And from there on, it snowballs because once you hit a certain threshold with something, and the threshold for every entrepreneur, in my opinion, is $100,000 turnover. Once you break through that, then you understand what your audience wants, especially if you stick to this lane, right? One audience, one solution, one offer. You understand your audience, you grow with them, and they will tell you what they want more. And on top of that, you can grow. And then it becomes easier and easier. I don't say it's gonna be you need to do nothing, sit back and it's gonna go because things happen. You know, you're gonna run into walls and everything. But that's how I experience it. The combination of mentors, following systems, and surround you with those people who always not one step, but 5 steps ahead of you. They will make you grow.
Yep, yep, that's correct. That's correct. Guys, I also need to reiterate one misconception that a lot of people think. I also realized after, I mean, this is my 3rd year. I just celebrated my 3 years solopreneur last week. What I find
Congrats.
out is that thank you. What I found out is that um, you will be very surprised that the more successful a certain solopreneur or whatever they are, the more successful they are, the more they are eager to learn, the more eager they are to get people to help them. They are not scared of asking for help. This is one
No.
thing that I notice about successful people, right? The more successful they are, you might think, oh, the more successful the more they will think that they don't need help. But contrary to that, the more successful they are, the more eager they are to look for people to help because they know that the only way to grow exponentially is to get people's help. Right? Stand on the shoulder of a giant. That's it. That's the whole entire
There's no
story.
secret. Yeah. You know, the beautiful thing is about Substack, for example. I came to Substack with no clue, and I hired the build right scale people
Yes, yes. I I I
as
saw
my
the note.
coaches. You
I
saw
saw
it?
the note. So hi Yari, hi Philip, and
Yeah,
hi Sinem.
they are make, but you know, and they these people are always giving you shortcuts because I grew quite rapidly in my first period on Substack, not because I'm cool or that I'm better than somebody else. The only thing that I did differently is that I went to the best in Substack and asked them, I'm here, tell me what to do. And they literally told me what to do. Do this, make this post, write this, go on Substack Lives, do this. All these things I'm doing literally. It's not me. It's not me being genius. No, all that's happening is me following somebody who is 10
Yep.
steps ahead of me in this unknown field, what is called Substack now. And and that's what you can do. That's how you learn.
Yes, definitely. Very, very true. Right. So yeah, so uh uh, while you're in the ClickFunnels, tell us what's the one thing that you find that is most important throughout your ClickFunnels journey. And then I'll share mine as well.
Yeah, I know. I just want to say I'm curious to yours as well. So the one thing that there are many things, right? So I need to find one
Yep.
that is really, really,
The top
really
top
stands.
number one.
The top number one for me.
While Virgil is thinking,
It,
for the rest of you, feel free to read this Russell Brunson has 3 books, right? And then .com Secrets, Traffic Secrets, and Expert Secrets, right? Alex Hamosi has 3 books. Read and digest and sleep with these 6 books.
yeah, and follow it to the letter. If it says something that you're uncomfortable with, and your mind says no, it's never gonna work, shut it down. Do it. Literally, just do
Yes,
that. You're gonna
yes.
go very far. So
The reason
my
the reason you are uncomfortable with that particular concept is the reason why you are stuck somewhere.
exactly, exactly.
Yes, back to
Well,
you, Virgil.
the
Come.
the biggest thing that I've learned from the ClickFunnels community is this, and it's not a marketing thing or something huge. It's that money isn't everything, and it's very weird. It's a weird concept because I could say that the ClickFunnels community and the books, but all the people around it and all my mentors I have and all the mentors I have till this day are responsible where I am today. So without them, I wouldn't be here. And so they're mostly responsible for my financial success. But once you reach that point that you could say, I'm financially free, and that means a lot of different things to different people, right? Some people need 50 million, but some people need 7,000 and they're financially free. So it is very subjective, right? So that's not the important part. The important part that I want to make is that once you reach that, you understand money isn't everything. And the only way how you will learn that, because if I say that to you and you struggle, you will say, yeah, Virgil, oh, good you say this, but yeah, nice, isn't everything, but I cannot pay my bills, right? So you don't understand the concept until you break the threshold of 100K. And I think you even could understand if you break the threshold of a 10K monthly income. I think if you break that, you realize that from that moment on, things are changing. And I think that is my biggest gift that I got from that community, because they brought me there and they made that point, breaking through my own beliefs and financial threshold, gave me the realization that money isn't worth the chasing, but you should to understand it. So it's a little bit like a paradox here, right? So that's my
Yep.
biggest thing from it.
Yep.
I want to hear yours.
Mine is very straightforward, down to the books. The thing that changes how I run my business, and how I think of what to sell was the first thing that came to my mind, and the first thing that caught my attention that lead me to go down the rabbit hole is actually value ladder, right? So and how you position different offers. Being a corporate guy for like the first half of my life, to me this is an alien concept. We all
It
know,
is.
come up with this and sell this. It's not like, oh, now instead of coming out with this, I come up with a series of products that lead to one another, and essentially create this chain of solutions to your clients. That was something that even till today, I naturally, I think I have some muscle memory when it comes to value ladder already. So every time I created something, I think of what I can do next, and what I can do uh from lead magnet. It just naturally come to my mind.
Yeah. It's a funny thing about the value ladder, right? Because of course there are many people reading the concept or learning about the concept of value ladder. In short, you start low, you bring your audience
Yep.
up the scale with your offers, right? The biggest thing that I've learned working with that concept for so many years, right,
Yes.
is that there is a nuance to it, because the value ladder is explained in stages, but that doesn't mean that you need to present your offer in that particular order. That
Yes.
is something that you can get confusing, right? Because let's
Yep.
say that I have a coaching offer and I charge 10K a month.
Yep.
it would be very weird to then offer a $25 product based
Yeah,
on the value
for you
ladder
to
because of the fun of the.
because traditionally that feels like down value your offers, right?
Yes, yes.
Which
So
which
you need to.
which the traditional guys find it very difficult to wrap their head
Yeah,
this idea.
and they're right. Yeah, no, but they're right because you do devalue your thing. Why, if you are at that level, why should you go all the way down? So, but you need to take the value ladder as a concept, and then very weird, let it go. When you
Yes.
understand there's progression needed because that's what the value ladder is teaching you. Once you see that there's progression and regression, then you drop the value ladder and then you always think, okay, if person A doesn't want this, what do the person wants? So instead of a ladder, it becomes a holistic 5D environment where you can go down, you can go up, or you can even go adjacent. That means,
Yep.
let's say I have a 10K high performing offer. I could do another 10K high performing offer in a slightly different angle to that same audience, slightly different problem. Then the whole value ladder concept doesn't exist anymore, but you use the concept of it. So I know it may sound complex, but everything that you digest in knowledge, you should take in and then also use your gut, your judgment, your experience. Because believe me, friends, everybody who is listening now, you know way more than you believe you do.
Yep.
You
Yep.
you know so much. And if you just apply sometimes, instead of following the horde, apply what you know, apply what you feel, you will do amazing things.
Yep. 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 It's just like I'm sure Virgil feels the same way now. Nowadays, when we think of one product, immediately in our mind we have this this chain of
Yes.
products that complements that one
Yes.
Singapore. Immediately in our mind, we think of this already. So
Yeah,
it's
it's a
muscle
curse.
memory,
It's a
guys.
curse and a blessing, yeah?
Yeah,
At the same time.
and then on top of that, in my mind, I also come up with how to talk to different stages of customer. For those of you who are interested, you can go and Google 5 stages of customer journey. Right, this is also another very interesting concept. I combine all of them together. But yes, if you want to find out more, feel free to talk to Virgil. Feel free to talk to myself. But we have crossed the 1 hour mark. I always try to keep it within 1 hour so that I don't waste any of your time. But Virgil, I feel that we can chat some more in another life,
We will. We
right?
will.
And then we can talk more about other stuff. But then before you go, I want to I will need your help again. Um, to help the 20 people in this life. If there are still people struggling to get their first dollar online, what advice do you have for them?
So if you're still struggling finding your offer or your way, right? First of all, it starts here. Starts with you know more than you believe that you know. It starts here. And all the thoughts that run through your mind, shall I do it? Is it the right moment? Will people buy? That is normal. That's nothing wrong with you. That's a completely normal behavior inside your mind. But the thing what you need to do is go out there and talk to your people. If you don't have a big audience yet, you don't need a big audience. Trust me, I've worked with people who had 1 million followers. They couldn't sell one thing. So it's not about the numbers of people that you have. It is about the quality of the people that you have. So if you have 20 people in your warm circle, go out to them and say, hey, I have this idea. I like to run this little test. It is pay to validate. Are you interested? And they will tell you, no, this is a stupid idea. Or they would say, yes, but I would do it like this. So my advice is go out there, have conversations with people in your audience niche or whatever you want to position yourself in and talk to them. And what they say to you, present that to them, even if that is something 180-degree different from what you had in mind. That's my advice.
All right. Thank you, Virgil. Thank you, Virgil. Thank you for coming to this
And
live with
stay.
me. Yes, we persevere. For those of you who joined us halfway, we had like you cannot imagine how Murphy's Law act on upon our life today. It was scary. right? So, but we persevere, we stick around, and then we finally make this work. Virgil got kicked out like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. So as usual, thank you for coming to First Digital Dollar Project. This is a project that I launched in January to promote the concept of our all our first digital dollar. All right. So while the whole internet talks about 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month, I really want to talk about the first dollar that changes our mindset to help us to help us to shift our mindset such that we know that it is possible to earn, it is possible to go to 100, 200, 1000, and everything. All this is possible, right? You just need to believe in it. And that is something you need to overcome yourself, right? So thank you, Virgil, for coming to this live. As usual, guys, within 24 hours, I'll publish this in Solopreneur Code. Virgil is very, very exciting guy. I'm pretty sure he will overtake my subscriber count within the next 6 months
No,
or so.
no, I don't think so.
Right, yeah, like, when right, so his subsite is launch room, right? Go and find out. He writes, he shares a lot of very interesting knowledge. I'm sure he will continue to share all the goodies with you guys. I will send out this recording within the next 24 hours. Thank you, Virgil. Thank you so for coming. I appreciate it, and
Thank you for
thank
having
you,
me
guys.
and for your
Yeah.
patience. Bye bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, guys.